Tangled truths won't fly. You can't deny. You think you'll vanish, but have no fear. You're bound, you're found, you're here, my dear. They go trying to pretend you're just a serpent in the end, caught in a lie, and I know why you think you'll disappear, but have no fear, you're here to stay, and no one believes you today. They go try to play the game, just another scag, but you're all the same. You're trapped in illusions, no more disguise. Those webs of deceit unravel your lies. Your game is over, no need to hide. Caught in the truth where you collide. Fate goes trying to escape fate, just another trickster meeting your day. You think you'll vanish, a fleeting charade, but mirrors shatter, exposing a facade. Reality whispers, the truth prevails. Caught in a lie, be the illusion fades. Caught in a lie, and I know why you think you'll disappear, but have no fear, you're here to stay, and no one believes you today. They gon' try to be a scapegoat, just another scapegoat. indigenous insects weaving you the void, drought in your brain, making you insane. Rapping up Benjamin Fulford, living the absurd like a blue avian nerd, keeping the lines blurred. Captain Mark Richards, a secret space program drifter, getting married while in prison, making you listen, create a new religion, doing the reptilian, making you forget my sins. Super soldier talks in prison, Nordic and Draco, shape shifting in my Winnebago. Indigenous insects weaving you the void, drown in your brain, making you insane. Rapping the Benjamin Fulford, living the absurd like a blue aviator, keeping the lines rapping like Benjamin Fulford, living the absurd like a blue aviator, keeping the lines blurred. Rapping like Benjamin Fulford. Word.
I wish that I could know why you decided to show, why you didn't just go, why you still call her Jane Doe. She was 13, not yet 16, not even a tween. Her friends said it would be funny if she met Epstein. He got a gig for the weekend, said she could bring a friend, said he needed someone who looked young, a blonde and a wig. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with a friend, and her friend thought it was harmless, so she went with a friend, and her friend thought it was harmless, so she went with a friend. And they said they all met a nice man, and his name was Prince Andrew, and she thought he was harmless, so she went with her friend, and her thought he was harmless, so she went with a friend. And Katie thought he was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she met a girl named Katie Johnson, and she looked just like me, and they thought it was harmless, so they went with their friend. And I thought it was harmless, so I went with my friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And her friend's friend thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And her friend's friend thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And Katie thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And her friend's friend thought it was harmless, so she went with her friend. And she thought it was.
All right, welcome to Not My Rabbit Hole. And I was just playing Jane Doe, which is a song that I created on Suno.com, Astral Record 6980. I did it in July, and it was when the right when the Epstein, right when we were told that the Epstein files, there was nothing there, and that we were never going to get to see them. And I had watched some videos about a woman who called herself Katie Johnson, and I'll just leave it at that for now, because of the I don't know. I mean, that's a really hot topic that was being talked and discussed before, and that has to do with a lot of the Epstein stuff that's coming out. And speaking of the Epstein stuff coming out, the last show I did, I talked about Andrew Mount. I knew I was going to screw it up again. I even pulled up a thing how to say it right. Hold on, Mountbatten. Andrew Mountbatten, Windsor. And I even pulled up, the correct way to say Mountbatten. I mean, I wish he hadn't been demoted to the prince, demoted from being the prince, because now we have to stumble over how to like pronounce Mountbatten correctly. But apparently this is how you pronounce it.
Mountbatten.
Let's do it again.
Mountbatten.
Mountbatten. Mountbatten. Mountbatten. Mountbatten. Wait, here we go again.
Mountbatten.
Mountbatten. Okay, Mountbatten. Yeah, us Americans over here, I think we want to go Mountbatten. I'm an American, and I want to call him Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Okay, anyway, Mountbatten. Let's one more time. Mountbatten. 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 Mountbatten.
Mountbatten.
Mountbatten. Mountbatten. So yeah, I was talking about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor earlier, and about how he was arrested. How yesterday, when we woke up, he was arrested. And a lot of us were really happy. And we really, I thought, oh my God, it's really happy. Because, with the files, there's that picture of Andrew, hovering over the girl that's lying on the floor, his hands, he's looking up. I don't know. I try to scrunch it out more wider so I thought maybe, gosh, did he get lizard eyes right now? Who else did that? Raise your hand if you went, oh my God, is he shape-shifting? Are these guys shape-shifting? Maybe because if you watch Sean Atwood, he has guessed that one of the Epstein victims did claim that he shapeshift, or that Jeffrey Epstein. I'm tongue-tied tonight. It's been a long day. We're going to talk about what happened today. But yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, right? They said that they saw Jeffrey Epstein shapeshift. It must have been scary. I'm just playing with these. I got to get some more noises. I kind of like having noises on Not My Rabbit Hole. Okay, but so he wasn't really arrested for Virginia Giuffre. It wasn't about the pictures that we saw. He was arrested for something else. Divulging documents or secret things that he wasn't supposed to. Matter of fact, I pulled up, I want to share the Google here. The Google. God, I sound like an old person. I'm going to share the Google. And here, he's been released. I mean, they're still investigating it, but it almost feels like, oh, what happened here? There we go. It almost feels like, yeah, let's arrest him, and then, people will be excited and they'll feel okay about it. And then we'll just, go ahead and we'll just go ahead and they'll be appeased by it. We'll just go ahead and let him out the next day. I'm sure that's not how it works. I mean, you would think that if someone was the former prince, he would at least get out on bail, right? He would at least be released. It would be an investigation. I felt like the headlines were misleading because it felt like, oh my goodness, they're starting to arrest the people that were in the Epstein files. And if that had happened, that would be really huge. But that's not exactly what did happen. And there was one, if you look around here, there's one article, here's the headlines. Let's look at the headlines. Andrew Mountbatten, Windsor, member of the Mountbatten Windsor family. Not the prince anymore. This picture, oh my God, this one right here. Can you see that? I want to see if you can see that. Yeah, on the right there. Whoo, that's not a good picture. He looks like, I don't know, like he looks horrified. Like, let's look at this closer. This is a TMZ picture here. I mean, he just looks horrified to me. Wait, you're not seeing what I want you to see. What I want you to see. That he looks horrified here. They even left the red eye in the picture. They didn't even, like, the photographer for this article didn't even, they screw it. He, let's just let his eye look red right there. Don't take the red out of his eye from the flash. He looks like he is absolutely shocked and horrified by whatever happens. I think this one deserves the heartbeat. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, he is definitely scared there. But the one headline that really got me, and was this one. I'm gonna kind of scroll down here a bit. And the headline is Bizarre Photos Show Ex-Prince Andrew Playing with Young Boy Using a Boob Doll. I kid you not. And this has even been shown on TMZ. So I'm gonna throw this in here just for discussion. And this is the California Post. Pardon me, not the New York Post. California Post. Bizarre Photos. This is by Chris Bradford. I guess I'm gonna do a like a fair use banner here, right? And let me get scrolling here. Chris Bradford is the journalist or the reporter. It was published this morning. What a boob. Bizarre newly revealed photos show then Prince Andrew playing with an infant using a ball made to look like a woman's breast. The photos show Andrew Mountbatten Windsor in 2011 when he was still a favored prince and the Duke of York, down on all fours at his home in Windsor, playing with the unidentified young boy, according to TMZ, which obtained the pics after Andrew's shocking arrest. What looks like an innocent moment takes an inappropriate turn when it becomes clear that the ball is actually made to look like a boob with a fake nipple sticking out of it. In one snap, the boy bends down to pick up the bizarre object with the nipple pointing straight at him. The photos resurfaced Thursday, soon after Andrew was released from 11 hours of custody following his dramatic, historic arrest for suspected misconduct in public office for allegedly giving confidential documents to his now deceased pedophile pal, Jeffrey Epstein. So that's what they were upset about. Confidential documents were given. It wasn't about the fact that anything happened with minors yet. The photos were taken before Andrew, the older of the two younger brothers of King Charles III, was stripped of his royal duties and titles over his scandalous ties to Epstein and his Madam Ghislaine Maxwell. And this is a TMZ photo here, courtesy of TMZ. The disgraced ex-prince has faced numerous investigations in the past. He was arrested Thursday on his 66th birthday after documents from the latest Epstein files suggested Andrew gave Epstein confidential files that he only had access to as a UK trade envoy. So that's what happened. They're worried about these files. He was taken into custody after a small army of officers suddenly swooped onto the Sandringham estate in eastern England, where he was currently living. The royal family was given no advance warning that Andrew was about to be arrested. And I'm going to kind of skip down the last part here. Andrew has vehemently denied having sex with Jeffrey, claiming in 2019 he had no recollection of ever meeting her. But in February of 2022, the pair settled a lawsuit she had filed against him. Andrew was the first royal since Charles in 1647 to be arrested despite losing his royal titles last year. He remains in line of succession and is 8th in line to the British throne. An act of parliament is needed for Andrew to be removed. All right, so that's the scoop there. That is the scoop. All right, we're gonna be back. There's a few things that I do want to talk about, and we'll be right back. I want to plug an upcoming Rumble stream that I'm going to be doing tomorrow night at 7 p.m. It will not be streamed live on YouTube. It will be initially streamed on Rumble. So I'm going to give the link out here for a second, and I'm going to discuss a little bit further why that is.
He ain't no Saint Germain, no crown, no name. He plays the game sharp as a flame. Who's to blame for the stolen fame? A shadow dance in the devil's frame. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on a stripper pole. Laughing loud all for the love, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud all for the love, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. Fast, can't find the ground. Echoes of chaos all around. You chose this dance, this mad parade, but not every choice gets accolades. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. Spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Going down the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud all for the lows, but baby that's not my rabbit hole.
Not my rabbit hole. And I'm going to start off with some things that started with Sarah Rachel Adams, but also I want to make note as I go like this. I want to make note that tomorrow night I will be streaming live stream. The title of it is Thomas Schoenberger threatens to disclose private information online, or private info online. Is the title of it. And then this is the thumbnail, Thomas Schoenberger's threats on Terry Joyce. And it got pretty nasty today. And with stuff that happened between Sarah Rachel Adams, Sarah R. Adams, Thomas Schoenberger, and primarily David Schurter. But Thomas, who had been fairly silent for a while, really came out and made some threats over really nothing. I'm going to discuss that for a minute briefly here, but because of the nature surrounding this and the right-wing fringe conspiracy 17th letter of the alphabet association that has to do with Laura Dilley's research paper, I don't really want to be restricted to discuss some of the things that have been happening with Thomas Schoenberger and in relation to his lawsuit and his threats of lawsuits that's been happening with me over the past almost 2 years now. He's been really going at this lawsuit threat. And in my last stream, I had pointed out that David Schurter was telling people, he's pointing his finger and everything, and, telling people how, Thomas Schoenberger or Thomas has the scoop. And, even though he has problems with them and stuff like this, he's everything that, Thomas emails him. And Thomas has been emailing defamation. David Schurter has been saying things about me that he is not, there's no evidence of it being true. And he said that not only about myself, but several other individuals. I don't even really need to say their names. I'll say Daniel Dowd. He's made up lies about myself, Geo Farnsworth. He accuses Jesse Davis, Pavana Davis. He puts us all into sewer town, and he's made some real outlandish accusations that have to do with what would have been considered part of that 17th letter of the alphabet conspiracy that permeated right now. And people like David or Sarah, and I've been pointing this out, will take something like Jeffrey Epstein and bring it down to someone like me and try to attach me to something like that. And so David has been working on a defamation campaign that he quotes almost verbatim Thomas Schoenberger's defamation on myself and other people that he has been doing online for years. It's like nothing new. It's just like David is just another mouthpiece. He's kind of like the loudest, most prominent mouthpiece that is getting the most attention, because if you look at David, he has been on certain channels like Lift the Veil that, he got a lot of coverage that way. He was interviewed by Ed Opperman. He was, on certain hosts that were on Revolution Radio when, during the time that I was on Revolution Radio. Certain networks, like he did interview Vanessa Bates, who is Max Spear's mother, and has an association to Fiona Barnett. And a lot of the things that came out on Twitter at that time, a lot of the things that came out during, with Laura Dilley's analysis on her research paper, they all kind of like cross over in, to these particular areas. David has over 9,000 subscribers that he's culminated, and he's incorporated a lot of like conspiracies into his own narrative. If you look at his YouTube channel, some of the very first things that he put up were about Hummel Park, which already has this folklore about it of murders and this and that happened in the park historically. And he has inserted his own version of it, which is kind of like quasi Franklin cover-up happening there. So David also has a book that's been published, and there's a lot of there's a history between him and Gabe Hoffman, and then there's a history between Gabe Hoffman and Thomas Schoenberger, and things that have happened years before someone like me ever came into the picture or was even aware that these associations and lawsuits and threats and stuff like that existed before I even walked into the picture. So that being said, whatever I did recently, there was a video that I uploaded, and the title of it's a short. In fact, I will go ahead and play the short that Thomas has done a screenshot over, just so you can see what it is that he is so upset about and that he has to make threats over. So I'm going to go ahead and show that short for you guys. And it's titled, David Schroeder says a felon on stalking charges has the scoop. All right, that is the title of it. And I will go ahead and do a share screen here. Okay, and here it is.
Quite honest, I flip-flop on Thomas. I don't trust Thomas at all, but could it be his Asperger's? Because we have been at each other's throats for so many years. But I will say, if I was an investigator, I would want to talk to Thomas.
Oh, yeah, he's got to point his finger about that. You're going to want to talk to Thomas because he has the scoop. He's got the scoop.
I would take
the scoop of the poop.
Everything he said with a grain of salt and investigate everything.
So apparently that has really gotten, really triggered Thomas today. And, he made several posts on his Facebook page, which we're going to get here in a second. Let me do a screen share here, because I have a screenshot of some of the stuff that he threatened me today from that. And you notice that his last name isn't mentioned in that video. So really, we could be talking about any Thomas. So, but anyway, he ended up, let me, I'm sorry, I went past it. Posting, I don't know, did I post it? I thought I posted it. Okay, let me post it again. Okay. I do have a copy of it, and or I could just actually even go to, I think I just even go to Thomas Schoenberger's page. It was up there. I did report it, so it might, sometimes when you report something, it actually disappears. Here it is. All right, so this was posted 9 hours ago, and Thomas Schoenberger writes, I am not a felon on stalking charges. That's a lie. One pushed by Terry and a certain hedge fund manager in Florida, where I can and will dispose as a witness if needed. So basically, he is referring to Gabe Hoffman, I'm assuming there. Now, let me just say this. Yeah, Thomas, yeah, he was a felon on stalking charges. And, I made a post, and, I'll show you it here in a moment if you, just to verify. I also posted it on X. I even posted it on, Facebook and Instagram. And I did a screenshot of this, and I made a comment on the fact that Thomas was like in the state news article about his lawsuit with Laura Dilley that I'm also mentioned in. He is reported in that article that he was a felon on stalking charges, and they had to verify that in order for them to put that in print. So Thomas has threatened me a lawsuit over that video where that doesn't even mention his name, like his last name. He wants to, all of a sudden, I'm going to be deposed. I'm going to be threatened, blah, 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 blah. He's taking me to court for something that's already in print. And for me to say that on Not My Rabbit Hole, because I am a journalist and a comedian, and so for me to say that is perfectly legal and it would not be considered defamation, because to my knowledge, that is true. And even today on X, Jesse Davis showed the receipt of Thomas's felony. Like, he actually showed it, and it's on X right now. So this is just this is just intimidation. This is a fact about Thomas. And so that was his, and he wants to now, he's, making threats, and Gabe Hoffman and blah, 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 blah. Okay. And so the next thing he says, 2, I'm now giving Sarah Adams, David Schurter, and others who wish to litigate against Teresa Joyce Randolph. So now he's using my full legal name, which it's out there now, but this is not what I go by on anything, including my articles that I have had. I'm, as a reporter, I am Terry Joyce Randolph. Okay. Will now be dragged into David Schurter and others who wish to litigate against Teresa Joyce Randolph, her email, home address, and phone number. So he's telling people that he's willing to give them my private information so that they can, for legal purposes only. I will not make this information public. This is witness tampering, and Teresa Joyce Randolph will be now dragged into court. Well, actually, according to YouTube's guidelines, this is considered harassment and bullying. You cannot tell people that you're going to publicly announce. It's not okay to publicly announce that you're going to give out private information of an individual to people who may have interest in harming or doing something to them. That is this is harassment and bullying right here on YouTube. And then he said, I just gave David Schurter Terry's address and an email should he wish to take a restraining order out on her. He has her number because she has already called and harassed him. I have no problem if Mr. Schurter forwards the information onto Sarah Adams, Blazing Scar, whoever is intending to sue or place a restraining order on Teresa Joyce Randolph due to her predatory behaviors. If GH or BB want to help the wig, that's their business. And I'm assuming that GH is Gabe Hoffman and BB is Beth Bogarts. Okay. If they want to help Teresa Joyce Randolph commit criminal acts that carry consequences, I have not doxed Terry Joyce Randolph's address publicly, though I did give it to Patrick Moran because he stated he was suing her and I was happy to help. And then he's doing the screenshot of this, which is my video, which is perfectly legal for me to say the things that I do. I'm assuming, I doubt 70 people liked this, but I'm assuming he's bodying this to make it look like it's I speculate it's been botted like he does to make it look like he has some big push behind him. And then of course they love to pass this picture around, which is 2 or 3 years old. So this is just regular Thomas Schoenberger stuff. However, I would like to go back to my page and also show some stuff by Sarah Adams today as well. Now here, I'm going to stop right here first. This is a screenshot of David Schurter did email me today. Now, a couple of days ago, David Schurter was saying that I had my email attached to my blog, which it is not. Hollywood Hemptress, by the way, and I made a mention. I want to change my banner here. See, my PayPal is hollywoodhemptress@gmail.com. This is the address that Thomas always contacted me on. And, so this is nothing new. This is not really like saying hollywoodhemptress@gmail.com. That is like one of my emails. And it was not, so, but they're acting like, it's a big deal. They're doxing me or whatever. But actually, David did one. I've never emailed David. I've never wanted to email David. I never wanted to be CC'd on any of these emails or be caught up in the drama that he does with the people that he also CCs. But as you can see, here's my email. And then there's also Neil Gross, his sheriff, Chad Butler, his sheriff, BMC McDaniel, Bill McDaniel, Iowa.gov. Also, somebody else that this also has to do with Harlan. Somebody else here, I think this might be, he's like a part of an emergency medical council. Info at cityofharlan.com and news2@harlaniowa.com. So he, how he always does this, like people who I guess email David in the middle of the night or whatever, he just CCs me. I've never emailed him, but what he wanted to make sure that I got was like, he wanted to make sure, I don't know if you can see that right there. Hopefully, maybe you can. Hi, Orlando. Yeah, you can. I'm not going to be here much later here, but he said, I believe Terry Joyce is working with Thomas Schoenberger to try and set me up. So now that was what he emailed to his sheriff. And now he's after me posting a video about how David Schurter says that Thomas has the scoop about the rest of us, that his defamation of us is real. And when he speaks about it and talks about Thomas's defamation, that people should take him seriously. And now he's being set up with me. With Thomas Schoenberger, and he sourced a blog today. I'm not going to go over his blog tonight. I will be doing that tomorrow. But in the blog, there are conversations of him between him and David about me and about doing things to come after me legally with him and stuff like this, and pass this on to Sarah R. Adams. Now, today, after I, did my show last night about Sarah R. Adams' Instagram con, if you haven't seen that video, please do. But, I have a clip from that too. I uploaded this clip from that. Let me just, do that clip for you really quick. Oh, I'm on. Well, let me go over to here. It's in my shorts. So let's do this. Let's look at this for a second. This is a clip I did of Sarah. Because people like Sarah and David know that when you bring God in the equation, or spirituality, or something that's going to happen after this existence, because all of us are really pretty much afraid to die. We don't want to die, right? So it's a real easy way to like automatically put a fear and an emotion and an indoctrination into people by your hand symbol, by using certain things, by taking this out into the spiritual and God realm. It's a huge manipulation. Okay,
shows me the secrets of the universe and secrets of even the dark.
Secrets of the universe. Who doesn't want to know the secrets of the universe? Because people like Sarah and okay, so that was that video, right? And then there's this video. So I'm going to pull in one of the hottest stories out there trending on the internet and pull it into me and make it all about me.
They were very cruel to me for that
And
video.
I don't know what this outfit is. This is just like, I don't know, Amish meets dominatrix meets, turn of the century. Like what is going on here with the outfit? Little House on the Prairie. At the bunny ranch.
They called me all sorts of names, said all sorts of evil things to me for me saying the truth, and now it's come out. And actually, I'm sad about that today. I had a hard last 2 days just like processing of knowing these things, talking about them, and then them coming out.
And that's my Facebook page.
The public eye. And yeah, I wish that a long time ago, people would have listened so that there could have been investigations into what I was saying, because I was actually experiencing like these experiences.
So I'm going to pull in one of the hottest stories out there trending on the internet. Okay, so that one is this is part of the show I did yesterday, because Sarah did lose her Facebook page. And, I was doing commentary on that. And so I hope you saw that. I think I shared it. But anyway. And then, because she got her Facebook page back, by the way. And I talked about that. And I talked about how she used, and I believe she did. Sarah's never been an advocate for Epstein. She's never been a big disclosure of Epstein. And this whole thing is all woo. It's about aliens and loosh, and she saw kids in cages, and it just goes on and on. It's just typical UFO stories, folklore stories that she's wants to say that she was in Facebook, practically lost her Facebook page over something like over this big disclosure that she's doing that involves like extraterrestrials underground. And I did commentary on it. I did commentary on whatever. So this morning I get privy to this particular post by Sarah, where she says, and I hate reading Sarah's stuff because she just has terrible punctuation, but we'll do our best. Okay, so Meta is investigating right now the person who runs the hate group on me, and they are removing one of his pages. They have been looking at everything for the past 2 hours and have an open case on him, and I've asked for them to send me a file of evidence on him for the FBI, and they are aware that he is posing a risk to my well-being, that he is trying to find my location and is grooming mentally unwell people against me. So translation here, I believe when she says him, there is a Facebook group on about Sarah. I forgot what the title of it is, and I've been repelled by this group. Like, I've had people, there's some lady trying to get me, was all liking my stuff on Facebook and trying to get my attention, and told me about this group, and I'm like, who are you? Like, why are you liking stuff on my Facebook page that has nothing to do with Sarah R. Adams? I go, I'm not going to be part of your group. I don't want to be part of your group. And there was a group that did exist that I think I was like a part of, or was, and then it felt infiltrated. It felt off to me, and I had a really bad experience with it. And, when this other opportunity came around, I'm like, no, I don't want you around me. I don't want to be in her group, because it always ends up badly. Well, here we go. Right. So they also saw how he has posted my private information. They called at me and spoke to me, and we are getting one page down, and they are working on his case right now. It's clear he was very unwell. He has 13 people remaining in his group, And out of 50, as many have seen he isn't well and have ditched him. His friend, Terry, Tere, we know it's me. I have a very unique spelling of my name, even though no other parts of my name are part of it. His friend Terry, that he uses as an outlet, I talked to her college, and they did let me know what she is doing is against the law. And they also are worried about being connected to her publicly, and said that they will suspend her if I get the police involved. And they advised me to file a restraining order on her, which I'm doing, and then to send that in, and she will most likely be removed from their college. They told me this over the phone and then emailed me and said to seek legal help on her via the police. Okay. And then we get to here. This was yesterday. I emailed Terry Joyce's college dean, and he states that his law enforcement should be involved, as she is clearly breaking the law, and guided me to file on her and law enforcement, and also via YouTube. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what, Sarah, the dean of the college that I go to, which is the Arts and Humanities, is a woman. So she called him a him. It's a woman. So this is just like a big bluff. And what would I have a restraining order from? What, for being a journalist and doing doing commentary on footage of the police investigations where she did a mushroom ritual, and a nearly fatal mushroom ritual, and Steve Harvey's daughter-in-law had to be intubated along with her, and she thinks that she's going to be able to get me out of my school for that because of what I do on Not My Rabbit Hole podcast. The college has nothing to do with that at all. This is ridiculous. This is the kind of stuff that is the kind of I get postings from Nasty Troll Media about how he's going to do this and that and blah 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 blah. And, I called mental services, and you're going to be 5150. Expect it. Thank you for calling mental services on Terry Joyce. Nothing ever happens to me. Okay, it's all one big bluff. It's all I'm gonna sue you, I'm gonna do whatever, but I'm gonna go into more detail behind a lot of this that's happening right now. I'm just giving you a quick kind of overview of what this is. But tomorrow at 7 p.m. on Rumble, and it will also be airing on X, and I probably will do shorts, the ones that are right for YouTube. But for right now, this is all I'm going to talk on the matter. It's not okay for Thomas Schoenberger to threaten and publicly state on his YouTube channel that he's going to be giving out my private information to someone like Sarah Rachel Adams, who by the way, admitted by David Schurter that she offered him $5,000 to take me down. And the next day, whether, she got $5,000 or not, she gave him some money, and he ended up telling a lie, saying that accusing me and her ex-business partner, which is the person she's referring to in her big old long spiel that she posted today on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. She is accusing me and Tash of blackmailing and extorting her with zero evidence. And then David Schurter repeats it on his YouTube channel, the defamation. I say, and I said this in my reply to Sarah, that she can expect a civil harassment suit alongside David Schurter for defamation of character and lies. And that will be exactly what is going to be happening. I have to tell you, I am tired of this. This is ridiculous. The accusations are ridiculous. There's no reason for me to have a restraining order for any reason. And if Thomas Schoenberger can't handle the fact that he is a felon on stalking charges, that is public knowledge as posted in the state news. He cannot sue me for that. And that is not a reason to make a threat like that. And that is not a reason to offer my private information in retaliation over it. So yeah, if you do want to sue, guess what kind of lawsuit I have, Thomas Schoenberger, and who's to say that that ain't happening? I'll tell you what, I will not stand down to Thomas Schoenberger and his defamation and his threats, and I will continue to make it as publicly, in the public, domain as much as I want and can. Also, in my own self-preservation. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time.
You're caught in a lie, and I know why. Tangled truths won't fly, you can't deny. Think you'll vanish, but have no fear. You're bound, you're found, you're here, my trying to pretend you're just a serpent in the end. Caught in a lie, and I know why. You think you'll disappear, but have no fear. You're here to stay, and no one believes you today. Bye-bye, fake, go trying to play the game. Just another snake, but you're all the same. You're trapped in illusions, no more disguise. Those webs of deceit unravel your eyes. Your game is over, no need to hide. Caught in the truth where you'll collide. To escape fate, just another trickster meeting your day. You think you'll vanish, a fleeting charade, but mirrors shatter, exposing the facade. Reality whispers, the truth prevails. Caught in a lie, the illusion fails. Caught in a lie. And I know why. You think you'll disappear, but have no fear. You're here to stay, and no one believes you today. Bye-bye. Fake out.